Bhagavato Arahato Dhamma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Dhamma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Dhamma Sambuddhassa. Today, quite length to Napata Mipa Yajis US ma Kai Dada Chicken Way my Dada King and Turn Dada Petty the Shamsin Buddha Dagma Pinyala Tenjani Point out Namya Dwell Aya don't you Naya Scholarship Fund a dwell they Tap on good idea had a fund the coupon fund the arrow. Answer the music, a type of Uncle had a scholarship fund. Item look with the second lieutenant, Nabil Nawaka, mother, look me said they lieutenant Eddie. Oh no, more than that, they are even. So today, enter the chicken way, enter the Kenyan turn, and finally from USA have donated into the scholarship I have set up for students. That is 10 million jets, and also 1 million for my needs. So this is using this opportunity, we are going to discuss the Dhamma, the teaching of the Buddha. So what I have in mind today is about positive thinking, how positive thinking is more important in the challenging time. In the challenging time, our positive thinking is usually is usually facing more challenges than any other time. And often we come to think, what's the use of positive thinking? When our positive thinking cannot prevent undesirable events from unfolding. I think this question is emotional. However we may rationalize it using our EQ, actually this is an emotional perspective, an emotional question. It's about wavering. It's about our belief in the value of positive thinking, doing positive thing, thinking positive things, saying positive things. The reason I think positive thinking is important is that only through positive thinking that we can build anything, and on that positive thinking that we can develop the community. And look at the World War II. People during the World War, people actually set aside any positive thinking that they may have had. And so their thinking, their action were based on survival instinct. Their survival was the top priority. And with that strategy, people actually acted in a way that harmed each other, and actually also harm themselves in the long run. It took years and years to rebuild. So we cannot actually build on anything for the community, for the nation, for the world, once we have given up our positive thinking. So a lot of destruction follow with the giving up of positive thinking, positive attitude during the First and the World War II. But nowadays we can see anywhere where people give up on positive thinking, actually they start thinking in the short term, in the short run, how to protect themselves. So in clinical psychologist term, people call this safety seeking. People are seeking safety at that moment because they don't feel safe. If you already feel safe, you're not seeking safety. When you don't feel safe in yourself and around with people around you, then you keep thinking about your own safety. So the safety-seeking mode of the mind is based on what we call threat focus. At that moment, our focus is based on threat or perceived threat. Some may be real, some may be perceived, but some sort of threat. So we can then look at things or events from this point of view. When people just look around and see each other as a threat, how they would behave. They would behave to protect themselves. They would behave so that they would feel safe, no matter the cost. They would cut themselves off from other people. They would stop looking at similarities that they may have with other people. So when we stop looking at similarities that we have with other people, commonality, things that we have in common, then naturally we will develop more fear. We strengthen the existing fear. So what does it mean by positive thinking then? Positive thinking means to believe in the value of doing good things and to believe that the challenges can be overcome. This is a very to keep this attitude, to nurture this attitude is actually very challenging in itself. Because if other people, in Burmese we have a saying, "Mo kha ye tao de." Mo kha ye tao de. There is a saying when other people drink the bitter rainwater. This is from one of the stories that we have in Burmese. When other people are doing it, why should I stay away from it? So you might as well, join in. When everyone is behaving badly, you are tempted to follow suit. This is in the nature of our subconscious mind. When children, they operate mainly on their instinct. It's very easy to impress them with anything, especially with negative things. Children go to school, they come home, having learned how to swear. Not that they know the consequences, but they just pick it up. Our subconscious mind is like a child. It's like a child. It's easily intimidated. It can easily lose its mindfulness, awareness. But it's in the subconscious mind that we develop our habit, that we keep our habit. Meaning, a lot of our actions are dictated by our habits. You can see the role of the subconscious mind over there. To keep positive attitude, positive mind, is then to stick to our value, to stick to the value that we believe in, positive value, that in Buddhist term, our action have consequences. So we have to be careful about our action. Our action must be wholesome and also beneficial to ourselves and to our neighbors, to the people we live in the same country, or even beyond our border. So this is the whole point of the Buddhist teaching. The whole point of the Buddhist teaching is about to stay above the mud and water as a lotus. As a lotus. The aim of the Buddhist practices is to strive to achieve that status of mind. So here we are talking about, when we use the example of a lotus, we are also talking about being in the mud but not affected by the mud. Being in the situation but not affected by the situation. Instead of being affected by the situation, just as the mud is drawing its energy from the mud, getting its energy from the mud, we should actually grow out of that suffering, out of that problem we are facing. It's very easy to give up on anything good, very easy. If people wear masks, then we wear masks. But then if we see maybe about 20% of the people, just 20% of the people, not wearing masks, our subconscious mind is being persuaded to follow the 20%. The 80% are still wearing masks. But the 20% is more powerful. That is why we talk about 80-20 theory. 80% are positive in our life, good, wholesome, cheerful. 20% needs fixing. But we give 80% of our energy and time to the 20%. Meaning, we just like to think about negative things more, even in good times. When we go through some challenging times, our mind is usually obsessed with negative things. So we can see that here we can see the role of our mind, the role of self-awareness, the importance of self-awareness. If we are not aware of negative thoughts bombarding our brain, our heart, and to give into the temptation of negativity, we will end up losing all the good value that we have worked for. Positive thinking is also believing that people can change. We know Angulimala. He was a terrible man, having killed nearly 1,000 people. No one really had any positive thought, positive attitude towards him anymore, except the Buddha. The Buddha had, strong belief in humanity, even when somebody like Angulimala was behaving so badly like that. Country roads, villages became deserted because of his action. He killed. But the Buddha didn't give up on him. It might still be possible to change him. That belief is what I consider to be an important component of positive thinking. Of course, the Buddha didn't always succeed with Devadatta, his cousin, who was always against him and plotted many times to how should I describe it? The word to oust is not a proper one, because the Buddha didn't see his as a position, his own place as a position. He was just serving humanity to help them overcome suffering. And he had worked for many lives to achieve this opportunity of serving people, through compassion and wisdom. But Devadatta was also behaving badly. But the Buddha didn't give up on him. But the Buddha couldn't do many things to change the monk Devadatta. But he did everything he could. He taught him good meditation. He gave him good meditation instruction. He was a good meditator up to a certain extent. And the Buddha was always careful not to provoke him into doing bad things. But Devadatta, was very strong with his bad intention, with his own ideas. So he tried up to the last minute to destroy the mission of the Buddha and to establish himself as a leader. But the Buddha didn't give up on him. The Buddha would think that there might come an opportunity if Devadatta himself decided to take it. So in the end, when Devadatta regretted, after he had seen all his followers deserted him, as we knew in the life story of Devadatta, he regretted and he wanted to see the Buddha and apologize. He got what is remained of his friend to carry him to the Buddha. They did so, and the Buddha decided to meet him. So that regret was a very good quality, but it came perhaps too late for him. He has reached a point of no return in terms of his unwholesome activity and unwholesome action. But we are told that his regret and the Buddha's availability to be there for him lessen his suffering. So this kind of positive thinking is what Buddhism nurtured. Even when the Buddha laid down rules, for the monks, forbidding them from doing this and that, he was doing so out of positive thinking. One day, if those practicing monks became enlightened, fully enlightened, they wouldn't need these rules anymore, because their mindfulness would be 24/7 present, and that would be enough to help them to stay away from anything bad. Positive thinking in terms of cognitive ability requires us to be aware of our own thoughts and our emotions. If we are not aware of them, we get carried away by our own negative reaction, our own negative thought. Intellectually, we may still be strong and positive, but in terms of cognitive emotion, from time to time we give into negative reaction. We end up gossiping, we end up saying things that would indicate that we are looking at more impossibilities rather than possibilities. အကောင်းမြင်ဝါဒအရေးကြီးတယ်ဆိုတာကအခက်ခဲကာလမှာအစဉ်ပြေတဲ့ကာလမှာအကောင်းမြင်ဝါဒရှိတာဒီဟာကအရန်ကြီးအံ့ဩစရာမဟုတ်သေးဘူးဆရာတော်ကြီးတစ်ပါးကသူ့ရဲ့တပည့်ကြီးကိုမေးတယ်ဆရာတော်ကြီးကတရားထိုင်နေပုဂ္ဂိုလ်တရားထိုင်တတ်ပြီလားတရားထိုင်တတ်ပြီတပည့်တော့ဘယ်နှစ်နိုင်ထိုင်နိုင်တယ်လုံးဝဝေဒနာကိုကြောနိုင်တယ်ဝေဒနာကိုကြောရဆိုတာ physical pain ကိုကြောရဆိုတာလေသူကအရင် testing ဖြစ်တာစိတ်ကိုလေတုံလှုပ်စီတာပဲဒီ physical pain ဒီရုပ်ဝေဒနာတွေဓာတ်လေးပါဝေဒနာတွေကလေအမလေးတော်ပါတော့ဆိုပြီးတော့လေအမြဲတမ်းပဲတော်ခိုင်းတာပဲတရားထိုင်တာသူကမလွယ်ဘူးမဖြစ်နိုင်တော့ဘူးဆိုတဲ့ဘက်ကိုပို့ပြီးတော့တွေးတယ်ဖြစ်နိုင်တယ်ဆိုတဲ့ဘက်ကိုသိမတွေးဖြစ်တော့တကယ်လို့ဝေဒနာကလာပြီးတော့စိန်ခေါ်တဲ့အခါမှာ Eddie Tachi Leva Nebido, people like the waiting answer that a twin lord and of your and a Sarah do it the bear made it. Fellow loaded do was a vein seat at hello. Then you sat the lady. Oh, Sarah, Brahma, so no. Shega lure the out hated now lure the out hated the lune, Sabine thing. Sabesi thing now, Area Neviro. Shega the out, look like, look 9. Now a deal kind of now so young share the out the outlet look like that. Now got the outlet look like that. Others is a vein seat at top. A mesita de ure, allow a mesita de. How Sarah, the dying sway no, the bear can be being durable. Oh, lamb account and ya oma, lando. Ludwa lando, hello. A cemetery land in my seat that was a vein seat at a low corridor. Sarah, Masita theory, huh? By change about 7 seater memory. Sarah, Ludiaka, co 7 seater account, Ludia co lavido. Time me a mature, I lose a messy that they call it. So Luraka. Lord and a 2 kama, koi a kami waraka. Mubjang levu so ye. The economy wara the cake. Khammai lo so now. There meant that Payapchikani ma borifin alma. Lord and the news of Netuivan. Bea ludi lebe. Tu go mionjiro. Tu are 2 land time to 2 not low in it the car. Go to experiment low in it. To change annually. Nama a jizo, Deabjasea, the car, Deaya, so that Deabjasea, Chinkabiro, to Lilarly. Ala Kala Mado, Udagara, Mabor, I say to Ubidu, Rositware. Through my sheet a syllabus, the course of study, the Jensen episode, a compida, Laragu bigger, Nyan le county, Jule Jews are the serious pede, open minded pede. Time through syllabus going to Khammai. A dana Laisharea, Mahodu, Madrid. They would hag a set about Hagar, no set about you. I said the Vasimalabe, and 2 take out the Mayadi to do ye, do Shara Madrid. Now so jaro lude a tin jide. A cookemaro Jainism coravo. Dogaras Rias and Nikanana Buddha. Go Ninze Bido, a payment a young can be chinda. A Sayadaw de lebe. Nebe, Pompe de. A deed low, not a deed away, woman. The Shan. Nabanja at all. Tamin swing lay. The low, not the low yet the wet. And then, Adam you. Adam lebe, Eddie Jensen Hama she prescribed process or course of practice. And I go look that way, I go no today out that way. Daga lebe moho de uso video. Go do in a pure nine. A do look go do in a pure nine there. Bizarki Nawaro. Koroa Gong when Jane at carry. Deaya Kujara at our give up look below. No canasum pian ponies or sing can never go pian out of me. Korogo long what me on Gido. I look beautiful palodo. 12 day. Tandwane. Bodhakayane, Mida on Suraka. A cookie Nasetia suit, highway neck, cargo on it, twine, Dhamma. 5 night ကျော် 6 night လောက်မောင်းရခီအဲ့ခီကိုအဲ့ပင်စားခီကခြေချင်းနဲ့ထွက်သွားတာတေရမင်းသားဖျားဖြစ်မဲ့တေရမင်းသားကိုမယုံကြည်ဘူးပဲနဲ့ပြောပြီးတော့ပြစ်သွားတာဒါတွေကလောကဓာတ်တွေပဲအဲ့ဒီအကောင်းမြင်ဝါရတာမရှိဘူးဆိုရင်ဒီလမ်းဖြစ်နိုင်တယ်အဖြေမှန်ကတော့ရှိတယ်အဖြေမှန်တော့မတွေ့သေးတာအဖြေမှန်တော့ရှိမယ် there must be a solution just that I haven't found it အဲ့ဒီလိုကိုယ်ယုံကြည်တဲ့ဟာမရှိဘူးဆိုရင်ဒီနေ့ဘုန်းတော်ဗုဒ္ဓသာသနာမရှိပါဘူးမရှိတော့မရှိနိုင်ပါဘူးအဲ့ဒီနေရာပဲကြိုက်မှာတော့ပဲကြိုက်မှာတော့သူတို့မကြိုက်တဲ့ဟာသူတို့ရဲ့တုံ့ပြန်မှုအဲ့ဒါတွေလည်းပဲလောကဓာတ်တွေပဲသူများနေပြီးတော့ကိုယ့်ကိုယ်တန်တရားရှိတဲ့အကြောင်းခဏပြရင်ခဏ demonstrate လုပ်တယ်ဆိုရင်နောက်ပိုင်းကျတော့ကိုယ့်ကိုယ်တန်တရားဖြစ်သွားတာအများစုအလုံးတီးပြီးပုံပြင်တစ်ခုပါပဲအဲ့ဒါတရားပြဆရာတော်တွေကတော့ခဏခဏပြောတယ်အဲ့ဒါဘာလို့ဆိုတော့အဖိုးကြီးတရားဟိုတောလိုက်တယ်ဆိုတာလေသူကသမင်တစ်ကောင်ရလာတယ်သူသမင်ရလာတာကိုရွာထဲကလေးကြီးတိပြီးတော့ဒီဘိုးကိုထုတ်သွားပြီးတော့illusion လုပ်ရအောင် illusion ဖန်တီးပြီးတော့ပြောရအောင်ဟာဘယ်လိုပြောမှာတော့သူရလာတဲ့ဟာကတမင်မဟုတ်ဘူးအခွေးကြီးလို့ပြောအောင်အဲ့ဒါနဲ့ရွာတူရွာမှာအဲ့ဘိုးပြန်လာလမ်းသွားစီးပြီးတော့ပြောရင်ဘိုးဘာဖြစ်လို့ခွေးထမ်းလာတော့ခွေးသေးထမ်းလာတော့သူလည်းပြန်ခွေးသေးမဟုတ်ပါဘူးကွာဒီမှာငါခုသမင်တကောင်ရလာတာအဲ့ရွာဖြတ်သွားပြီးတော့အဲ့ရွာအဆုံးမှာနောက်ထပ်တစ်ယောက်ထပ်ဆောင်နေပြန်အဲ့လိုထပ်ပြောပြန်ဘာဖြစ်လို့သမင်တော့ပြစ်တယ်ဆိုပြီးတော့ခွေးထမ်းလာတော့နှစ်ယောက်ပြောတဲ့ခါကျတော့သူ့ရဲ့ subconscious mind ကနည်းနည်း active ဖြစ်လာတယ်နည်းနည်းတန်တရားဖြစ်လာတယ်ဒါမဲ့ပြန်ညင်းတယ်မဟုတ်ပါဘူးဒါသမင်မှာသူ့ရဲ့ရွာသူနေတဲ့ရွာအဝင်လာကြတဲ့ခါကျတော့ရီလိုက်တာလေကလေးတဲ့နောက်ထပ်ပြီးတော့အိုက်ကောင်လေးတဲ့ထပ်ဆောင်တယ်အကြံနဲ့ပေါ့သူရီတာပေါ့ကြည်စားမအောင်မင်္ဂလာမရှိလိုက်တာဒီမှာခွေးသေးကောင်ကိုထမ်းလာတယ်တမင်ဆိုရင်လည်းဟုတ်ပါရဲ့ဒီမှာကြည်ပါအောင်အဲ့လိုပြောရခါကြတော့သူထမ်းလာတဲ့တမင်ကိုလွှင့်ပြစ်လိုက်တယ်ဆိုလိုတာကဘေးကအပျော်များရင်အဲ့လိုပဲဖြစ်တတ်တယ်တရားထိုင်တဲ့နေရာမှာဝိပဿနာဆရာတော်တွေကတော့ဒါကဘာပြောတာတော့ဆိုအဲ့ဒီခဏလမ်းမှာစားပြီးတော့ပြောနေတဲ့လူတွေကဒါကတော့အပြင်ကလူတွေပေါ့ဟိုတဲ့အနေနဲ့ပုံမြင်တဲ့အနေနဲ့ပြောရင်တော့အဲ့ဒီဟာကိုပြန်ပြီးတော့အဘိဓမ္မာသဘောပညာဒီပရမတ်သဘောနဲ့analyze လုပ်တယ်ဆိုရင်တော့ကိုယ်စိတ်ထဲမှာပေါ်လာတဲ့သိညာတွေပေါ့ perception တွေအဲ့သိညာတွေပေါ်လာတိုင်းအမှန်တရားကိုဘုံမှုတို့ကမမြင်ပဲနဲ့မမှန်တဲ့ဟာကိုသွားပြီးတော့အမှန်လို့ယူဆတာပေါ့အမှန်လို့ယူဆတာဒါကတင်ညာလိန်တာကိုခံရတာလို့ဆိုကြတာပေါ့အဲ့တော့ဘုံမလို့အားလုံးကအဲ့ဒီမုတ်ဆိုးလို့ပဲဘဝခရီးသွားနေကြတော့ဘဝခရီးသွားတဲ့အခါမှာကိုယ့်ရဲ့မသိစိတ်ထဲမှာရှိတဲ့တင်ညာနော်ဆိုတော့အကျင့်တစ်ခုကအတွေ့တစ်ခုကအကျဉ်း သူအဲ့ဒီလိုလာပြီးတော့ပြောလိမ့်မယ်အဲ့လူငယ်တွေပြောတဲ့အတိုင်းပဲသမင်ကိုခွေးလို့သူပြောရင်ပြောမယ်အဲ့လိုပြောတဲ့အခါမှာကိုယ်လက်ထဲမှာရှိတဲ့အခါသမင်ဆိုတာကိုဆက်လက်ပြီးတော့ယုံကြည်ဖို့အရေးကြီးတယ်ဒါအကောင်းမြတ်ဝါဒနဲ့ပတ်သက်တာသမင်ကိုသမင်လို့မြင်နေဆိုရင်တော့အမှန်ကိုအမှန်လို့မြင်တာပေါ့အမှန်ကိုအမှန်လို့မြင်နေဆိုတာလောကကြီးထဲမှာဒီလောက်ထိညင်းနေကြတာညင်းခုန်နေကြတာဘယ်လိုလုပ်ပြီးတော့အမှန်ကိုအမှန်လို့မြင်မြတ်စွာဘုရားကတော့အမှန်ဆိုတာထက်ဘယ် action ကဒုက္ခဖြစ်စေဘယ် action ဒုက္ခမဖြစ်ဆိုတော့ဒုက္ခနဲ့ standard ထားပြီးတော့တွေးပါတယ်အဲကြောင့်သစ္စာ၄ပါးကိုformulate လုပ်ထားတာကိုပဲကြည့်ဘယ်လိုလုံးရမျိုးဘယ်လိုကျင့်စဉ်မျိုးကဒုက္ခကိုနဲအောင်ပထမဆုံးလုံနိုင်တယ်နောက်ပိုင်းကျတော့အမြင့်ပြတ်အောင်လုံနိုင်တယ်ဆိုရင်အဲ့ဟာကိုမဂ္ဂသစ္စာလို့ခေါ်တယ်တမ္မာဒိဋ္ဌိမှန်ကန်တဲ့အမြင်ဆိုမှန်ကန်တယ်ဆိုတာကသူကအဲ့ဒီဒုက္ခကိုယော့နေအောင်ဒုက္ခကိုကျော်လွှားနိုင်အောင်လုံနိုင်စွမ်းကိုဒါမှန်တယ်လို့ခေါ်တာနော်မှန်တယ်ဆိုတော့အဲ့နေရာမှာခေါ်တယ်ဘုံဘုံကတကယ်လို့ဒေါသဖြစ်တယ်ဆိုရင်အဲ့ဒေါသကိုကဘယ်လိုမှန်ကန်တဲ့ theory တွေပဲအသိဉာဏ်တွေပဲရှိနေအဲ့အသိဉာဏ်တွေကအဲ့အချိန်မှာဘုံဘုံရဲ့ဒေါသကိုငြိမ်းအောင်မလုပ်နိုင်ဘူးဆိုရင်အဲ့ဒီအမှန်တရားအဲ့ဒီအချိန်မှာသူကအသုံးမကျအောင်တနည်းအားဖြင့်ပြောမှဆိုအဲ့အမှန်တရားအမှန်မဟုတ်ဘူးပေါ့ဒီသစ္စာ၄ပါး standard ကိုသူက it doesn't meet the standard of the four noble truth သစ္စာ၄ပါးရဲ့ standard ကိုသူကမမီဘူးမှတ်ကြောက်မတင်နိုင်ဘူးပေါ့ဒါကြောင့်ဘုရားတရားတော်ထဲမှာမှန်တယ်မှားတယ်ဆိုတာဒုက္ခပြဿနာတွေတင်မာမှုတွေယော့နေအောင်လုံနိုင်စွမ်းရှိတယ်အတွေးခေါ်အမြင်အဲ့ဒီဟာကိုပဲအကောင်းမြတ်ဝါဒလို့ခေါ်တယ်အမှန်တရားလို့ခေါ်တယ်individually ပြန်ပြီးတော့စဉ်းစားကြည့်မယ်ဆိုရင်2003ခုနှစ်မှာဘုံဘုံ PhD ပြီးကနေအမေရိကန်မှာစာတမ်းသွားဖတ်ပြီးတော့ Oxford ပြန်ရောက်တော့အမေရိကန်မှာစာတမ်းသွားဖတ်ရင် New York မှာAsian Association Asian Studies Conference စာတမ်းသွားဖတ်ရင်ဒါအမေရိကန်ပထမဆုံးရောက်တယ်စာတမ်းသွားဖတ်ရင်တခါတွေပင်နေဟာတနေရာပြီးတနေရာဘုံဘုံဟာလက်ခံတာပေါ့West Coast အထိရောက်တယ်ဘယ်ထိရောက်တော့ဆိုတော့ Los Angeles ဘက်ရောက်တယ် Arizona ဘက်ရောက်တယ်အဲ့လိုပေါ့နော်နောက်ပြီးတော့ Chicago ဘက်လည်းရောက်တယ် Illinois ဘက်လည်းရောက်တယ်ပင်ပန်းသွားပြီးတော့လေအတန်ဝင်သွားတယ်အဲ့မှာအတန်ဝင်သွားပြီးတော့ပြန်လာတဲ့အခါမှာ University Hospital မှာသွားပြီးတော့ပြတဲ့အခါကျတော့ဆရာဝန်ကပြောဆိုရှင်ဖြာလက်ချောင်းကင်ဆာဖြစ်နိုင်တယ်အဲ့လိုပြောလက်ချောင်းကင်ဆာဖြစ်နိုင်တယ်အဲ့ချိန်မှာလေစိတ်ကဘာဖြစ်သွားဆိုလုံးဝ restless ဖြစ်သွားတယ်ကိုယ်စိတ်တွေပြန်ကြည့်ရအောင်ငါတေးမှကြောက်နေလားဆိုအဲ့အကြောက်တရားကိုရှာမတွေ့ဘူးမကြောက်တာလားဘယ်ဟုတ်မှာတော့အကြောက်တရားကိုတခါတည်းကြောပိုးပြီးတော့အကြောက်တရားနေပြီးတော့တခါတည်းငါ့ကိုအကြောက်တရားလိုက်ရှာခိုင်းမှပြောနေတဲ့ခါကျတော့အကြောက်တရားသူအကြောက်တရားကိုမညွန်ပြဘူးလေတခိုးကိုတခါတည်းပိုးပြီးတော့တခိုးလိုက်ရှာခိုင်းတယ်တခိုးကသူကမပြဘူးအဲ့လိုဖြစ်တဲ့ခါကျတော့ကိုယ်စိတ်ထဲမှာတေးမှကြောက်တော့ကိုကလုံးဝမမြင်ဘူးအမှန်တော့တေးမှကြောက်တာပါပဲအဲ့ဒီချိန်မှာဘာသာတွေ့ဆိုငါ Dana Pulo, Milmanda, Dale Lochin, Dale Lochin. Bria dinner better than Lochin, Briba dinner better than Lochin. Eluade, Mia, twin upon a shout twin. Maloya de Haribe, arrive a gong shout twin. The project died she. I take my also mute ma. Chong and lebe, Savio tea town board way. People but my veshi did. Ngaya. And a can up here can it out of the atine. Matai name. Now, second little carry. Luenera. When they tried it, the chat on Shulumia. Now, the chapter when they should lie, 12 my look like. I look at Ngaya. Ngaya. I look at Pinnated man. Now, so no. Oh, Mazis are here. The Poya Shumapa. I die Ngaya Shumala Karna, Fabio Tiny Meow, Tiny Meow, Ngaya Jarakajaro. But 2 years Lona William and then a Jew Pilar. Palito to it on the room. Matimine Seiko, Lekan light. Nabiro Chow Seiko, Lekan light. Let Tonkers are pitching a pit kiss a issue. Anyhow, Lekan light. Uncertainty of Lekan light. Lekan Kajaro said to him, I uncertainty of Lekan Biro. Seka, Nina, never name or a young name. Diamond a name that a window of opportunity lay young. Window of opportunity party young sorrow. A tweet young narrowly. I met on I low. She'll be doing her no. Maloya did a ya, call let him a machine there, every yari be doing. Duly anxiety pomiale, duly maginally, duly illuminaja said it popsily. Going I later, I hallo. Pinning and need how uncertain to Lekan and a cataro. Now at that those and a shin. Now at that those and a shin. A Jane Bala general. Let look like that. Let us rack to us soon like that. A Jane Bala will book releve. At him and she did, Namaji book releve. Those and a shin to ma. Few low lare, Tadana low answer. Pomon, Negara Savio, Copchan to it. I'm your eye pit. I might be deep pit, and I look at it, my scene, I look at Bibi. Such a poem of chicken, Marcare, could at the Gide, Tangare, could hang Tangare, Lavido, a deviro namle. Tale Satin papers at a car with Jewish bones and mube. Point out matter, a truth in bearable. A Jewish Suraga, Jewish bears rata, person you beat up hope out low. Oh, a boat in bear. I have more. At such how nature, second and a sala. And I left him to either carry the pit. Hello, I'm you, Bona. We did local nearly. Sacha point the capture the Cantaro at that Nasay, Wamia things happen in the Cantaro. Pomon kind at Tanga, a let dancer. Go at the better mat, the Nangan Tavaga, not the Nangan Tudia. And I have Jan do the kind of biddy pit there. Wamaya to Sapo pit there, Dhammasami, make only told her. Edit handy bit of the cat, Tavaga, Tudia Yam, telling alone, and I have Jan do a bit of the cat. Oh, I had a Juzak, not a good and as I Juzak. The near Jomesino, moody dab jam sit there. Eddie moody dane, go ye. A calm you are, go champion of Carca, Abia. Did ne illusion, Pitala the Kaitara chicken way, my petty, keen to know. Could choose Ada Piantuya, Kana Piantria, Nero, no Mulata, Pejama Tekere, Peluchuza Kede, a lay dampema, Pejama Tekere, Peluchuza Kede, a ted dampema Tekere, Tegubema Tekere. Now be the kind of boiling the specialization day. Bema Tata day. Long Anquima, Peluchuza Kede. Society will contribute locally. Eddie, Jam Biro 2 years. Possible Ronsoro, Terra Menaka, Lord and a twitch on a Khammai. A body be Amali. Padrido to Chownita to Juzagara. Juzara out Twitter no. Omian out Twitter mo. Omian let Twina by the time Eddie Chamber, Terra Menaka, Omian new Payamati, to lodge in a panda me out. May out be met to Juzara to Pian Twibiro. To go to PD Pitnera or rejoicement at our moody dark. At the Madia Kauna Hajaro, a town in the Macau to Neroa, a Pian Twide, not a Yembo Pian Twide. To Miadwing, a Mia locata bay. Trace and Chitepoa Marama, a Miadwe, say Countara, a Miada Twide. Or altruistic tendencies or logatasria. Eddie saying a naked Pian Twibur to go to. Ah, yeah. Eddie Pinsagi, yet weapon moody, the child Badari weapon moody. To go Matito. To see Yala Kama, to raise a gadi. Pure Chema, Trubasat and 12 Kama, Palapa Jan and Jana, to now Yala Kama. To go, 2 years ago. Don't look see named in Amishido. And our pure metaphor in it. One if you let the Lenaka Diara Cajaro. Panly the website varies. Panly lupset var. Hey, Arajamulo. Poem and focus low needed, Karuna and Mudita, Karuna Suraka. Lashi Twitcher we had it. Piatana Pshin 9 Hello, Sella Yon Jitara Usatara, Karuna Lokore. Sella Viro Majosa also yin, alternative car. It's a lot worse. Taja Sella Josa me, Ero Karuna Core. Nabiro, go Josa Kere Yari, Piantui. Go Josa Kere Piantui, not get Josa Kere. Di Dujo Nishide. Ediario. Piamiro Twira at a moody dalo core. Eddie Garuna and moody dan and the coop boundly, a calming wara. The Amanama Kekere Chinkalamale, a calming wara, celebiro, taint hand bare. Montali, a diga, pure chimare, Kekere Kalam, a calming wara, Bobiro Yeji, Tisa li baro. Piamazuli, but they are libaro, Daria, a calming warago. This how be the arrow repeated, so they chow. Pure in a change of pare, alone chama chana chavasi.